be the shortest one.
Yes. We had all these questions prepared for you, Miss Hutson. So much so that your husband, Brian, you'd have to go home and talk to him about what we did to you up here. But in that, since Mr. Miller's not here, we're happy to have you. You've been campaigning for how long now? Since June, wow, okay. Here we go. Tell us about Court 4. What real-world experience do you bring to the table that prepares you for the court you're seeking?
Am I live? Okay. Well, good evening. Thank you all so much for having me. And I want to clarify, I have 3 minutes? 5 minutes. 5 minutes, okay. Well, I'm pretty famous for not taking all my time, and I probably won't take all of it again tonight simply because I don't have to respond to a lot of the questions. But as I've been listening here tonight, I want to go ahead and fill in some of the answers that have already been asked of some of the other candidates, and to give you an idea of who I am and why I'm running for County Court at Law Number 4, judge of that court. So my name's Echo Hutson, and I'll be the only Echo on your ballot, so it'll be easy to find me. Echo is a Greek name, but my parents didn't really know about the Greek mythology behind it. If you want to Google it, there's this really tragic Greek love story involved with Echo, but it has nothing to do with why my parents named me that, and I think that's the most common question I get. So I started here in Montgomery County as a prosecutor in 2009, and I started here under the newly elected District Attorney Brett Ligon, and he hired me right away as I came in under his tutelage. And so I originally started actually in El Paso County, which is a far cry from the lovely Montgomery County, and as soon as I got here, I knew this was the place to stay. The people here are so wonderful. The community is exactly where I wanted to raise my children and to have a family. Montgomery County is incredibly special, and I knew that from the moment that I landed here. And so I have devoted my career to public service in this county in particular. And so under Brett Ligon, I started as general prosecution. I had the opportunity to be a domestic violence prosecutor. But before I did that, I was the chief prosecutor in all 5 of the county courts at law here in Montgomery County. And so I learned very quickly how to run a docket and how to keep trials moving and how to prepare our cases and get them ready and get the evidence going. And I tried a lot of cases before I became the domestic violence chief. In 2011, Brett was starting to specialize. And what we have learned statistically is that cases move through the docket better when the prosecutors, when the attorneys, and when the judges specialize in their courts. And we have seen in the last 10 years, since 2011, a move to specialization. And that has been statistically relevant as far as moving these cases through. So in 2011, I had the opportunity to write a grant and form the first domestic violence specialty court here in Montgomery County, which I did. And we got to start it from the ground up, and Brett gave me a lot of leeway, and I became the first specialized prosecutor in the county for domestic violence. I worked that docket, and we implemented a lot of changes. What we found was that prior to implementation of this court, we were dismissing more than 50% of our domestic violence cases in the county courts at law. And those were even the ones that got to an arrest and got fully investigated to the point where they would come into the courtroom. And so with that dismissal rate, it was very obvious that something needed to change. So what I did is I started educating myself, and I started educating this county. I started educating our law enforcement, our other prosecutors, and our judges, and we created a specialized docket. In the first year of that docket, which was in County Court 2 under Judge Claudia Laird, we had a 100% conviction rate at trial. We tried more cases, and by we I mean me, I was the sole prosecutor. We tried more cases than anyone else, and our conviction rate with plea bargains was over 90%. It was a complete success. And so since then, we have continued in that division, and we have continued to work the principles that we have begun, which is accelerated dockets, trauma-informed care for domestic violence victims, in-person conversations. Oh, is that my time? Thank you. Well, that went quickly. So I am asking for your vote because of my specialization. County Court at Law number 4 is a specialized domestic violence docket, and I'm the one for the job. Thank you.